Hello, everyone, and I'm Christina Giordano, the founder of Sold, your go to resource for soulful entrepreneurship. And my philosophy is this: people can no longer be sold to, they must be sold to. This is selling with soul. This is marketing with integrity, where you no longer need to compromise your authenticity, your boundaries, your uniqueness, your wholeness. This is messaging in a way that actually reflects the transformation you provide, which is your story, your transformation, and nobody can compete with that. This is monetizing yourself and manifesting in a way that honors your fullness, all of the pieces and parts of you that are meant to be divinely resourced. Join me every Wednesday to learn all of this and more. Let's jump right in. Today's episode is called 5 Signs That Prove You're Vibrating Higher. And this is the last episode of season 3. I can't believe I am 3 seasons down into the Sold journey. I absolutely love it. There are some things I want to update, like, for example, my mic. If you are catching this on YouTube, if you're watching this, then I'm holding it today. I just feel like I get better sound when I hold it closer to my face. So that's what we're going to do today. So if you're catching this on video, then that's what's happening. But yes, I will hopefully have a better mic for season 4 of Sold, and also lots of fun things are expected for season 4. I'm going to be doing more Sold spotlights, meaning interviews with entrepreneurs who I believe really reflect the Sold spirit. So those who have really embodied their hero's journey and are the walking representation of it. And not only that, so they market themselves in that way, but then they also manifest in a way that really is just, it's effortless because it's essentially just their essence. I really stand by the belief and the philosophy that you can market yourself and manifest and therefore build your dream business with nothing but your essence. And so today I'm going to be talking about 5 signs that show that you are vibrating higher. And now, of course, you can vibrate higher in any type of manifestation thing that you do. So there's a variety of ways to manifest, and I'm going to dive into kind of the old paradigm of manifesting versus the new paradigm of manifesting, but the kind of vibrating that comes from the result of using nothing but your essence, of like the great shed is what I refer it to, is when you're nothing but your essence. It's really quite effortless. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about this. So in this journey of marketing and manifesting with nothing but the essence that is you, what's happening when we're vibrating higher is not what most are experiencing with other, meaning older and more current paradigms of both marketing and manifesting. So in the current paradigm of marketing and manifesting, I mean, I like to call them the marketing matrix and the manifesting matrix, because you're still efforting, you're still forcing, you're still striving to achieve something. You're doing more and being more, and therefore you're essentially just adding new programs and patterns to yourself, which don't really reflect who you are anyway. So it's just like still more of the hustle, but it's just like, okay, now you're just like, you're adding more to yourself. It's like, when I think about it, I'm thinking in terms of like, it's the contrast of shedding anything. It's like you're adding more things that you have to do. And I've talked about this in previous episodes where it's like you're relying on like crystals, or you are setting like 5 different alarms on your phone to trick yourself into thinking that people are buying from you, or you're like constantly in the flow of just like never ending affirmations. And what I'm trying to say with the essence piece is that when you get to it, when you get to the heart of it, to the heart of you, and you've done like this shedding process of releasing all of the programs and patterns and beliefs that you've just kind of hung on to, it becomes effortless. Manifesting becomes effortless. You don't have to do anything or be anything. So if you're purchasing or buying marketing and manifesting programs that aren't leading you back to your own truth, you're essentially still following someone else's truth. If you're consuming more than you're creating, and I mean more than content, you could be creating anything. We're always creating. Just by being in our energy, we're creating. But if you're just consuming, then you're following somebody else's creation process or their own compass instead of your own. And if you're adding more things to your task list and trying to be more of something in order to market and manifest effectively, you're resisting the natural process of returning to your essence. So adding more things to do or trying to be more than what you are, it's not the way. At least it's not the way that I like to teach, and it's not the way that I have found works for me. And I also think it's a way that people are kind of opening up to. So first of all, you don't actually have to do more or be more in order to manifest anything. What I'm saying is you just need to shed all of, excuse my French, the shit that makes you think you do. So all of the programs and the patterns and the behaviors that makes you think that you need to do more or be more, that's automatically putting you in a space of lack. So you already think that you don't have enough of something, or that you aren't enough of something, or that you need to be more of something or do more of something. Do you see how it already puts you in that space of not enough, of not enoughness? And so it keeps you there. It keeps you in the space of not enoughness because you will never do enough or be enough to be more and do more, to receive more. That's just not how it works. So you have to remove everything instead. You have to shed everything instead so that you come back to who you are. Second of all, any program, course, or mentor that doesn't act as a clear mirror for you, meaning they don't honor your journey and instead project their beliefs onto you, this is also only going to take you further away from yourself. So this can be seen in a variety of ways in the manifestation and even the marketing matrix. I used to follow people who would make manifesting kind of all about God. And while there is a higher power at play here, one thing you will never hear from me is scripture or something from the Old Testament or New Testament. I will never quote the Bible. And that's essentially because my view of God and divinity and source and the universe, it's kind of like all one thing. It's just a higher power. And it's love. That's really what it is. The higher power is love. And so even if you believe in whatever you want to believe in, go for it. Believe in whatever you want to believe in. What I'm saying is that the current manifestation matrix almost requires that you believe in whatever they believe in, meaning the people who are teaching it. And so if you don't, you're doing it wrong, which is impossible. Like nobody has one clear definition of who God is, of what God is. I simply believe that the divine is within us and around us. And what it really comes down to is just unconditional love. Unconditional love. And for those who are, how do I put it, God-fearing, that's not unconditional love. It's just not. And so I think there's also, because the higher power is love, we have such tainted and different views about what love is, and everybody has their own trauma around love and what it is, that it gets murky and muddy when we go there, especially in regards to religion. Now, this could look like something different where perhaps you're working with a mentor or an advisor, maybe in the realms of energetics or spirituality or whatever it might be. And instead of you kind of being in your own journey and allowing you to kind of intuit your way forward for yourself, they may or may not project their own limitations onto you. It's like judgment. It's like judgment. So when we're judging someone, it doesn't say anything about them. What it's saying is that's what we would think of ourselves if we were in their shoes. I just did a post on this on Instagram. It's a Reels, actually, in my @ Christina Gio account. And so when we are essentially judging or projecting what we believe to be true onto others, it messes with things. It takes them out of themselves. It pulls them away from their energy. And they are therefore no longer in their energetic space, they're in ours. And so you got to be really careful with that. You got to be really careful with the people that you let in to guide you. They need to be a clear mirror, because I've had that happen to me too, where the person I was working with, there were so many projections that they put on me. And it was just, I saw it and I called it out, and they got defensive about it, but it was me knowing deep down that their truth wasn't mine that was able to make me remove myself from that situation and no longer have or that person no longer has access to me. So you just got to be careful is what I'm saying. And then third of all, as someone who is kind of, because I've been doing this work for a long time, because I've been embodying the money methods for as long as I have, I'm in more of a somewhat advanced level of this great shed that I'm talking about. And I can honestly say it makes the process of manifesting and marketing quite effortless, because I stand by what I say when I say you can market yourself and manifest with nothing but your essence. And trust me, as someone who has this calling, I've tried to work around this multiple times. I was resistant to it because, honestly, I know it doesn't make logical sense. It doesn't make any logical sense to those of us who have really developed the programming and the pattern to have to effort and force and do and create and make and do all the things in order for something to happen. Nothing will happen without our control. That's what I, of course, was raised to believe as well. But they call it leaps of faith for a reason, not leaps of logic. And now where I am, it's kind of to the point where I'm just rolling with it because I have so much faith and conviction in it. Like, I have to have so much faith and conviction in it because I am where I am today because of it. And the reason why I have so much faith in it is because I can see and feel the changes that are happening as a result of the shedding. It's bringing me higher, it's bringing me closer, and it's kind of closing the gap between me and my higher self. So, like I said, I could feel like I'm vibrating higher, but in a different kind of way. So about vibrating higher, here are 5 signs that kind of prove that you are vibrating higher from someone who is experiencing all of this herself. Now, number 1, vibrating higher means you're vibrating faster, but you're actually moving a lot slower. This was a surprising thing for me to realize. Vibrating higher, it can feel like a high. It really can. And it can feel like that, but as you move throughout your days, you're actually moving slower than normal. And this can be a really weird feeling. It can kind of throw you off. Like, you might start to think, am I doing this wrong? But this is because you're not full of the old programs that kept you in your head, ruminating, worrying, overthinking, overanalyzing, wondering what to do next, second guessing and doubting. You are now at a much more peaceful place where you can dwell in a higher vibration and just simply enjoy it. So it's a mix of being present, but also being grounded, being really rooted in your essence. Number 2, anything that feels like force actually feels foreign now. You trust frequency. So it truly does. Anything that feels like pressure or force or urgency, I cannot entertain. Like, it's just like not going to happen. And I've talked about this in previous episodes, but I'm the queen of effort. That took some time to unwind within me, but I found so much peace on the other side of releasing that. Now, if something feels urgent or forceful or like pressure, I immediately pull back, because no amount of force can take me out of my peaceful presence. And if it does, it's because I'm letting it. I'm essentially giving my power away. So I trust frequency now. If something feels aligned based on its frequency, I respond. If it doesn't, I completely pull back my energy. This took some practice to discern, but it gets easier with time. It also takes some practice in like releasing attachments to outcomes and also releasing expectations. So when I'm in a space where I feel like I'm getting a little heady, like I'm in my head, that is usually a clear indication to me that I've let my power go somewhere, that I have taken myself out of my energy and I need to pull it back in. I'm leaking, essentially, that's what that means. And when I'm leaking, it's an automatic nope. I'm not going to tolerate it. So it's like an automatic bounce back of patching up that leak and knowing that not only am I not going to tolerate that leak, but if it's meant for me, it will find its way. I'm not forcing anything. This is for anything in life. This is not just for work. This is not just for money. This is anything. Relationships, like even potential relationships. If I feel like it's just like not in the right vibe, or if I feel like my energy is being pulled, or if I feel like I am efforting in some way, or that I have it on a pedestal, or that I have the outcome or the person or the whatever it is that I'm desiring, if I have that on the pedestal, it's got to come off. It's got to come off. I got to release it. I got to send it back. I got to send it to the light. And then I have to come back to myself. I have to come back to myself and know, like I know, if whatever is meant for me, person, place, thing, situation, etc., will find its way. It just will, because that's what I'm attracting in. And I'm attracting in the highest vibration of it. So that I can experience the highest form of matter for it. I've talked about this in a previous episode too. Energy comes before matter. It always does. And so when we're pulling in what we wish to attract through our vibration, through our frequency, what we're doing is we're pulling in a certain kind of frequency that we want to experience. So that's the faster the frequency, and the higher the frequency, the faster the frequency, that's what needs to catch up. That's what needs to come in. So that's kind of how I am operating now in terms of like the ease of things. I'm letting it go and I'm letting it be easy. And that's actually a mantra of mine right now. I'm letting it go and I'm letting it be easy. Number 3, you believe in being present over being productive. Now, as a marketing consultant, I used to think more was better. More channels, more work, more content. All of this eventually would lead to more visibility, which would eventually lead to more clients, more money, more of what I wanted my business to look like. This isn't actually true at all, and it goes back to the quantity versus quality perspective. It's not the quantity of strategies that matter, it's your presence within it. And if you're scattered, you can't be very present. So this is why I recommend my clients do only what they love to do. Again, love to do, because that's the energy they bring to it, in terms of expressing themselves and sharing the truth of their heart as it relates to the strength of their work, and then trusting that what they're doing, because they love it so much, is enough. Now, what I do to market myself may look like a lot on the outside, but the truth is, it's just a lot of repurposing. Like, that's really what it is. I work smarter, not harder. And it all begins with what I'm doing right now with this week's episode of Sold. My topics come to me based on what I'm moving through in my life. And then I give myself the space to be fully present and write. I love writing. This then becomes my blog post for the week. I also read and record for both my podcast and my video series on YouTube. And then from here, I share snippets via quote graphics, carousels, short reels, all that stuff on Instagram. I will also write a brief intro in my weekly e-newsletter and tie it back to this episode to draw in more viewers or listeners. And the amount of time that it takes to do all of this is just a few hours per week, which is also structured and scheduled into my weekly calendar. So it never gets missed. And it's something I actually really look forward to. It requires very little from me aside from my presence. But it has big impact because it has longevity. It's got legs. It can go. Number 4, you say no to what is not aligned and do not accept less than what you deserve. This is kind of going back to what I was saying of what you will no longer tolerate. And this is going to sound strange to some, but when you vibrate higher, you care more about your calling and your truth and your inner fire and care less about the things that used to matter to you. So this can be people pleasing, this can be performing, perfecting, but it can also be certain relationships and dynamics that actually drained you. So I'm talking about the leaks here. Or people that couldn't meet you halfway, or places and spaces where you didn't feel seen or heard. This is part of the great shed. And in order to vibrate higher, you have to release all that weighs you down. This is all of those things. Everything and everyone that isn't fully in alignment with who you are and where you're going is no longer tolerated or entertained. You've moved on, which means you're letting go. Number 5, you're excited for what's to come because you feel held by you, by yourself, and the universe, or God, or source, or love, or whatever it is that you believe in. When you vibrate higher, you have this internal knowing that you've got your back, but also the universe has your back. Because remember what I said about those with a calling. You're stepping into a higher purpose with a higher partner, or with a higher power. It's a divine partnership now. You are in a partnership with the divine. You received the calling. You were chosen for this by a higher power. And whether it's your higher self, you want to believe that, let's go for it. But you were chosen for what you're doing by a higher power. And so you need to be working with the higher power while you're living out your calling. It's just, you can't just like take it all on by yourself. And so when you're in this partnership, you release the things that you no longer need to do yourself, because it's no longer you doing it anymore. Like I said, you have your back and the universe has your back. You didn't shed all of this to stay where you were. You shed so that you could have and hold more of what you want. And so now that you know that you can have and hold more of what you want, life gets to be exciting. You're excited for aligned connections, for aligned opportunities, for growth, for adventures. You're ready for it because it's ready for you. So life is now meeting you halfway. The universe is now meeting you halfway. Now, if vibrating higher is something you're trying to achieve for yourself and you find yourself stuck in trying to be more or do more based on the current marketing matrix or manifesting matrix, whatever it's trying to do, then you may find what you're looking for through my methods, either the marketing methods or the money methods. Both methods are available on my website on the Get Guidance page of ChristinaGiordano.com, where there are also one-to-one opportunities to work with me so that you can get a helping hand on your journey. But this is all I have for today, and until next time, be well and take care.